revenue. Our own Eric Dickerson has led the charge, and a group of Hall of Famers, including guys like Deion Sanders, Jerry Rice, Jim Brown, wrote a letter to Roger Goodell, the Players Association, and the Hall of Fame saying, quote, "Until our demands are met, the Hall of Famers will not attend the annual induction ceremony in Canton." Now, Rob Parker is with us. Rob, great stuff.
Thank you. Good morning. And if you want to check it out, it's theshadowleague.com. You could also read the entire letter there on the website.
Okay, and we are going to get your opinion on it, but I do want to start with Shannon because
he's a Hall of Famer.
Obviously, you are the Hall of Famer, but not a part of that list.
Yeah, not on this list.
So what is your reaction?
Put my name on there. I'm upset. I support him, Skip.
Okay.
It's sad that it's come to this. They shouldn't have to be fighting for this. This should have been something that was negotiated a long, long time ago. If you play, I believe, I'm a firm believer, if you are a vested player, if you play the vested number of years, which is 3 years in the NFL, you should receive lifetime health benefits. That should have been negotiated. I hate that the Hall of Famers are having to be placed in this situation to fight for everybody. And I know it's just the Hall of Famers, and they're talking about, and I know people are going to say, well, what about the guys that are not a Hall of Famers? Well, you got to start with somewhere. And the only asset, the only thing that the Hall of Famers have is their presence. When you turn on, yeah, it's an induction, but you look up there on the stage and you see all those gold jackets, you see all the Hall of Famers. So if you see a whole bunch of empty chairs, that's really probably the only thing that's going to get the Hall of Fame and the NFL's attention. Skip, look, for me, I've done okay with my money. Let me take that back. I'm lying. I've done well. I've done better than okay.
Okay.
I got with my attorney, Marvin Demoff, in 1996. The very first thing he said, he told me, Skip, he says, I'm going to always tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. He says, what do you want? I says, I want this lifestyle. I have this many kids. How do I do it?
Yeah.
He says, do this, 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 this. I did everything he said. I'm well off. Take care of my kids, put them through college. I'm good.
Okay.
But everybody is not like Shannon. A lot of guys didn't make the money, and I made okay money, not like these guys making, but I'm good.
Yep.
But the guys that came before Shannon and the guys that came before them didn't make that money. And they're hurt. I mean, I see some of the guys walking around, Skipping, it's sad. It breaks my heart, and I'm thinking to myself, damn, is that going to be me in another 5 years? Is that going to be me in 10 years? I'm fortunate enough that I'm able to have health care, and I can provide health care for me and take care of my sister. And
By the way, I don't believe that's going to be you in 5 years.
Right.
Go ahead.
And I'm like, but Skip, it's so sad that the Hall of Famers had to be put in a situation like this. And people ask me all the time, what do you get for going to the Hall of Fame? I say, they don't send out checks. I say, you get a very nice ring and you get a bust. I said, but that's it. You don't, I mean, it's the fact that you're one of the Pantheon greats that played your particular sport. But I commend Eric Dickerson, who's the chairman of this, and all the great names that you see. But Skip, there's so many more. I think there's
180 living members.
Okay.
And for the most part, all of them are not like Shannon. Some are better. Some of the Elways and the Marinos and Troy Aikmans did very, very well.
They're not on this list.
They're not on this list.
Okay.
But when you got a Jim Brown,
you got some
and Jerry
heavyweights.
Rice and the Deion,
you got some big ones on you.
Yes.
Derek Brooks for that
Yes,
matter.
yes.
I have nothing but respect for Derek.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how do you feel about the demand for an annual salary for Hall of Famers?
For me, Skip, I don't want anything. So if I whatever salary they give me, to take that up, if it's $5,
keep it in the pot.
Give it to the other players. I'm good. Now, would I like the health benefits? Sure. But if I don't give it to the guys that need it. And I understand what Eric Dickerson and these guys are trying to do. But Shannon's okay. And when I sign things, when I do things for the Hall of Fame, Skip, I don't take money. I say give it to the guys that are not in good a shape as Shannon Sharp. I'm good. But I understand what they're trying to do, and I commend them. And I hate to be placed in this situation, but they say we want this or we not going. I hate it because my very good friend Tony Gonzalez is going into the Hall of Fame. He'll be a Hall of Famer. But if they say we're not going, Shannon Sharp's going to be right here in L.A.
Really?
Wow.
And that's the only way. It is strong, but that's the only way you get things moved. That's why I understand why some other players will push back and say, well, what about us? And I get all that. But how do you get the league's attention to move and do something? You have to have the biggest and brightest stand up and be willing to sacrifice and willing to say, we're not going to go to Canton. You see the commissioner makes a lot of money.
40+ million, jet, and lifetime medical.
He has lifetime health care. And then you also have.
Wait, say that again. 40 million.
40 million.
A year. Go ahead.
And use of a private jet.
Okay.
And lifetime medical.
All right.
And then you got to look at the building. They're going to break ground on $1 billion structure in Canton for the Hall of Fame. So they see this money. They see and they read every day the league generates $14 billion. And there are, as you talked about, Hall of Famers. That's why I admire Eric Dickerson to take this on, galvanize, rally the troops to say, if we don't stand up and ask and demand what we're looking for, it'll never happen. They're never going to come because they haven't done it to this point.
No, they're not going to do it.
And they're not going to just come over and go, oh, wait a minute. What are we thinking?
We should do this.
Yeah, we should take care of you guys. So you have to force the issue. And the only way, I agree, if you turn on, and here's one thing. They broadcast the whole Hall of Fame thing. What about the broadcast money or rights or advertisers that come from that? They could use that and pool that money and say, we're going to give this to the Hall of Famers.
By the way, it's one of my favorite shows of the year.
Okay, and so there's one that they could make money off of. They could do a lot of other things, licensing. I don't, come up with ways to generate money to make sure these guys, maybe not Shannon Sharp, who's okay, but other people who really need it. And that was the thing I got from the letter. And then the comparisons to like Major League Baseball, where you only have to have a cup of coffee and a sweet roll, and you get a pension one day in Major League Baseball.
One day and you get health insurance
Health
for life?
for life. That's all you have to make a roster one day.
And you mean to tell me a player that plays in the NFL for 3 years can't get that same deal, health benefits for life, after playing 3 years of the most brutal, organized sport that you can play? Come on, NFL. Skip, they got to check. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, if a team just say, you know what, we're going to put $2 million a year aside so we can have these players, our players have lifetime medical benefits for the rest of their life, can do it in no problem.
Okay. So just to frame the power behind this movement, starting with Eric Dickerson, who's the head of it, I'm just going to name the power names here. Marcus Allen, Derek Brooks, Jim Brown, Earl Campbell, Ronnie Lott, Joe Namath, Jerry Rice, Deion Sanders, Lawrence Taylor. Those are heavyweights. So it's just not like five guys are trying to splinter.
Oh, no, this is big.
Okay? The only two quarterbacks are Joe Namath and Kurt Warner. Right. So you got a whole bevy of superstar quarterbacks who have not come over yet, but I assume, will they? They might. We got the Elways and the Montanas and the Marinos. And
the Aikmans.
Yep, okay. So I can tell you, first of all, what most fans, I think I would speak for the average fan in the street, they're not going to love the demand for an annual salary. They'd say, well, wait a second, you're a Hall of Famer, and that you can cash in on your fame, that you can speak, you can appear, you can do card shows, right? I'm pretty sure that's going to be the first reaction you're going to hear.
But as you get further and further away removed, Skip, you get less and less visible, so it's not as easy for them to appear and do promotional things and do speaking engagements, say like someone like myself that's on television, or someone